everybody. Are you all let go? Oh God, my
Laughter, they say, is the best icebreaker, and Marlene Le Roux has a way of cracking you up. I couldn't think of a more fitting guest for a discussion on disability rights.
I'm trained as a teacher, first of all. I love teaching.
I could tell.
I love.
I could tell it's in your DNA.
Met die A gaan jy vir my 'n bietjie meer energie. I love children and I love young people because they're the pillars of our society.
Marlene Le Roux is a South African disability rights advocate, art educator, and CEO of the Artscape Theatre Centre in Cape Town. She was just 3 months old when she contracted polio, not because the vaccine was not available, but because the apartheid-era clinic her mother visited had none left for non-white children.
But the drops were there. What a criminal law can do. The scars of apartheid is my polio.
Those scars did not hold her back. They gave her the strength to navigate life as a person with a disability and later on as the mother of a child with a disability.
I had an angel child and his name was Adam. And Adam was cerebral palsy. Adam couldn't see. Adam could do nothing for himself. He was my total light. Went in for an MRI with Adam. Both parts of his brain suffered oxygen deprivation. The second day, he had a very high fever. They didn't know what caused it, but they never told us. The doctor just told me cold. You must put your child in an institution. He will never be able to do anything. Just cold, just like this. There I sit. Not telling me where to go to, what I must do. I have this beautiful boy on my lap. I can tell you now what was the taste in my mouth. What I wore that day. And I swore no one must ever go through this. And that is why I can never walk away from disability and marginalization of people.
Toe Adam, maak met jou oogies oop vir mamma.
Did you do your music?
She gave him everything she could, love without limit and care without question. But on 25 August 2017, Adam's life came to an end.
Justice is for me key.
My disability doesn't make me disabled. My environment disables me.
Over 1 billion people worldwide live with some form of disability. In Africa, nearly 80 million are affected, yet most still face barriers to education, employment, healthcare, and public life. Fewer than 1 in 10 have access to the tools and services they need. That's why in 2019, the United Nations adopted the Disability Inclusion Strategy, UNDIS, to embed disability rights across its development and humanitarian work. It is a blueprint for action to make institutions more accessible, policies more inclusive, and systems more accountable to those with lived experience.
Our destination is clear, a world in which all people, including people with disabilities, can enjoy equal opportunities, have a full say in decision-making processes, and truly benefit from economic, social, political, and cultural life.
Being disabled is something different by becoming a mother with a child with a disability. It's two different journeys.
That dark chapter notwithstanding, being around Marlene is a full-on experience. She lights up hallways with laughter, greets every staff member like an old friend, and carries warmth so infectious it lifts the mood across the building. She has devoted her life to encouraging ability, identifying potential, nurturing confidence, and amplifying voices too often overlooked. Whether someone lives with a visible or non-apparent disability, her focus is on what they can do, not what they lack.
Hi everybody, I'm Nikita Scott, all the way from Atlantis, and I'm a vocalist and I'm a disabled person as well. Life here at Artscape is very easy for people with disabilities. Everything, it's almost like it's a second home, because everything you just feel freer, because there's no challenges that you have to face as a disabled person.
Marlene also partners with community organizations that support persons with disabilities. Live and Lead, for example, is an organization by persons with disability for persons with disability. Artscape has become one of South Africa's most accessible public spaces. She reimagined the theatre not just as a cultural centre, but as a platform that welcomes everyone across race, class, gender and ability.
I don't take the positions that I hold for granted. I must speak up for the person that's been marginalized, that doesn't have the opportunity to sit at the table. Because I fought hard to be visible as a person with disabilities. Because visibility must be in your face in order for you to realize that I need resources to be equal to you. Here you can see our signage is also very clear.
Her commitment to accessibility is visible in every corner of the building. Automated doors, level entryways, wheelchair seating, tactile carpeting, comfort rooms and accessibility restrooms were all put in place to uphold dignity and independence.
And the light will go on. And here, I come out again. Perfect. And it takes its time so that you can get out here still in time, so that the relay is not It needs to have time, and there it closed again. Sometimes people put on ramps, which people in wheelchairs can't even access. I work with wheelchair-bound people, and every term we have meetings. We have an integrated team for disabilities, which is autism, which is deaf, which is blind, which is wheelchair-bound, which is cerebral palsy, and they give it to me if it's not right. Which is important, so because it keeps me also accountable that I don't know it all. Because even in the world of disability, discrimination happens. If you are physically disabled, you think you're on top of the world. You forget that you have a deaf person, but if you're deaf again, you're physically good. You just happen to be deaf. So I also do training with persons with disabilities to understand another person with a disability, which is not your kind of disability. Families do come here for outings with their children with disabilities, and they just come and sit in a beautiful building, and I think it's just absolutely wonderful. Because they come out, I encourage them to bring food with, sit on the piazza, so that they can just be free. Otherwise it is just, if you have a child who is especially autism, who is very sensitive to loudness and sound, you can't actually go to a restaurant. You can't go out at all. So for me, it's like to look at everything. How do we mainstream people, that people can feel they are people? We also train all our staff on disabilities, also on how to help our patrons getting out of their wheelchairs. So it's not just a few, everybody gets training. Oh, and this is my petition.
Petition for what?
For gender-based violence, against gender-based violence. What is important is that you write down your solutions. And on the 9th of August, we walk in the streets with Warrior Woman.
Really?
Yes, and I go to all the politicians.
You've done that before, or you just started?
No. This is from last year. We started the campaign. So we are marching to the politicians, to Parliament with Warrior Woman. We enough of talking.
So you've made this place accessible, but also you are accessible. I see how you interact and you light up every single staff member.
Must be.
You encounter the whole way. That's extraordinary leadership.
And they're all leaders here. Our main person is our cleaning executive staff. If you come and pay for a ticket, and that ticket is 500 Rand, and you come not into a clean space, will you come again? No. I have tea with the cleaning staff, regular, to make them feel they are people, they're the most important persons for us.
Inclusion at Artscape doesn't end with infrastructure. It lives on stage. Marlene helped launch the Artsability Festival, an integrated arts showcase spotlighting performers with disabilities. Amongst them is the Unmute Dance Company, a mixed ability troupe whose work blends wheelchair, crutches and raw physical expression to tell stories that challenge how we see disability. Shifting perceptions is part of Marlene's everyday work. She's no stranger to fashion events where she occasionally takes to the runway, not for spectacle, but to make a statement that having a disability does not take away from your beauty and style.
The ever beautiful Dr. Marlene!
People treat persons with disabilities different. They want to put you in a box and you need to look like how they stereotype you. You mustn't dance, you mustn't be happy, you must feel sorry for yourself. From a very early age, I decided, I love to dance. Because in our community, everybody's loud, not just happiness, but music around us. And I've decided I'm also going to be happy. So I became actually a singer very early in my life. When I hit that first note, then we go for it.
Why should the shadows come?
And that is why the arts play a pivotal role to give voice, dignity, because you experience ability. You don't experience disability. Arts can be a vehicle for persons with disabilities to be mainstream.
Now, earlier we mentioned the United Nations Disability Inclusion Strategy. So what has changed since its adoption in 2019? As of 2023, over 60 United Nations entities and country teams reported active inclusion efforts ranging from workplace accessibility to inclusive procurement policies. The UN Partnership on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities has also mobilized more than $77 million, backing over 100 programs across 93 countries and advancing policy reforms across the system. But more work still needs to be done. Some staff with disability have reported persistent barriers, from digital tools that are not fully accessible to recruitment processes that don't meet inclusive standards. Some would argue that the most meaningful shift has been in how we think, meaning disability is increasingly being recognized as a matter of right and not charity. For Marlene, those rights must be reflected in real-world action, including how we deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Sustainable Goals can't just be on paper. How can we make it livable? How can we make it implementable? How are they going to put these goals as part of their fiscal budgets, as part of their median goals budgets? You can't just have things on paper and think it's going to happen. You must have active programs, which is uncomfortable programs, with a budget. If you must ask me, what was the gift of disability for me? Was the gift to understand marginalization. I can look glamorous like this now because I have a job. I can go to the best orthopedic surgeon now. I just had 2 hip replacements just to survive. I had a brain tumor as well as I'm sitting here. They could remove it successfully. Just today, before I came here, I was at the physio where this particular leg has given me so much trouble because I was busy with Freedom Day. Yeah? Dancing, explaining once again, 31 years of Freedom Day. We become complacent as a country. So what happened? My legs gave in last night. Because I have a job, I could pay for the physio to put the needles this morning in my leg to release the pain of the muscle. What happened with other polio people? They suffer. They die in their beds. My job is to open doors for other people. Again, I want to say I work with the most wonderful team members and also community people. We must never become arrogant. We must never become complacent. We must never say we know it all.
Thank you for being a champion. Champion for the society, but champion especially for the Sustainable Development Goals. I think if we had more people with your mindset, your work ethic, would all be happy and harmonious in our living. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ultimately, accessibility is not a box to tick. It is a mindset and a daily practice. Disability inclusion is a matter of right, equity, and of how committed we are to building societies that leave no one behind. And that's where we end things today. I am Ernest Chicho, wishing you God's blessings in abundance. Goodbye.